I think somebody's gonna die, and I actually don't think it's gonna be Karen. I think it's gonna be. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Room Pod. I was trying to think of the number.
33.
33.
That's Larry Bird.
Kareem.
I'll take both. That's fair. Two Pantheon level players.
There you go. Who else is 33? That's it.
Yeah. I think after that, who else belongs in that group?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome into the Comic Room Pod. I'm your host, Spro. With me, as always, Mr. Longbox. A lot of fun stuff today. Got a decent amount of news that came out this week. We got a Blade update, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got our first look into Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Some pictures released. Did you see him?
No, I've not seen him.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So we got that. A couple other small things. And then we're going to be talking about a show that I feel like went under the radar. You haven't finished it yet. But I was encouraging you to watch it. So you started it. And then we'll talk about Daredevil.
Yes,
Born
sir.
Again. Comes
now.
out next week. So we'll talk about maybe a little bit of our expectations, what we're hoping to see. We know a little bit of the plot. And then I'll tell you about something that they talked about this week during the press premiere that I'm pretty sure you probably haven't heard. And then if we have time, I have some of the big books that I got from the collection here. So I'll probably just give you guys an update on where I'm at with the collection, maybe show you guys some books, but that's all dependent on time.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask y'all's advice about what book I should send in to CGC.
Yeah. There's a signing coming up for him.
And if you know anything about me, you know I'm having a hard time resisting it. So,
So yeah, if you enjoy this content, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with another friend in the hobby that you think might enjoy this podcast as well. We would greatly appreciate that. You can follow us on Instagram. I am at Spros_comics, and this is at Mr. Longbox. And yeah, let's get into... Oh, time code's in the description.
Yep.
If you just want to skip to anything in particular, you don't care about news, show and tell, you just want to get to the meat of the episode, go into the description. There's little timestamps. You can click that, get to exactly what you want to hear.
Yep.
Let's get into show and tell.
yeah, show and tell. Who's first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Because mine's pretty cool, and it's the first time we've done something like this. So I think a few months ago, you did the first time the show and tell was a newspaper. Right,
yeah.
For Little Lulu.
Yeah.
So I brought a card. I don't think...
That's so funny that you did that because I almost did that this time.
Really?
I was this close. I bought a series of cards. They were reprints of cards, but they're from the old Marvel series and had Batman and Catwoman cards. They're really cool. I almost did that. That's so funny.
Oh, wow.
So cool. Let's go. Break the lid off.
Wait, what were the cards? Were they...
They were okay. So it's a 1966 set of DC.
Oh, wow.
DC Comics cards, and I saw and most the ones that I were looking at, they might have been all Batman cards, but at least the ones I saw were Batman cards because that's what I was looking at and on eBay. And they had these cool ones with Batman and Catwoman interacting, and
cool.
And some of them were like riffs off of Golden Age covers, and anyway, and then a little detail on the back, and it wasn't that expensive to get the 66 originals, but they were kind of beat. But I noticed that Topps put out reprints in the early 90s or whatever, and so this guy was selling for a few bucks each. I thought, well, I'm not really into the business of collecting cards, but I just like the cards.
Yeah.
So I bought as many as I could find that were Catwoman ones from the same guy, so I could combine shipping. So I got 5.
Wow, that's cool.
And they're really cool, man. They're really fun.
Wow.
So I almost brought them. That would have been would have been funny.
That would have been crazy.
I'm kicking myself now because I looked at them before I left. I'm like, next time maybe.
Yeah. Well, I've been going through this collection, and kind of every day I'm finding something new. Sometimes it's something really big and cool. Like the other day, I found the first appearance of Bane. That was really cool to come across because I thought I had pretty much, and I still do think I've pretty much found everything big that there is to find in the collection. The only a little bit of hope is that I still have a bunch, a box, maybe even 2 boxes full of comics that are where he put 5 inside of a comic bag. So it's who knows if he accidentally slipped something else into one of those. So I'll still have that to go through. But I think pretty much I found everything there's to find. I keep saying that I'm finding more.
But you haven't ruled out Mark Jewelers on any of these books.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
we're here in the West Coast, and I believe Mark Jewelers is West Coast advertising.
Yeah.
So it's very possible.
And I'll tell you why it's even more possible. This guy, the original owner of the collection, is from San Diego. So you have Camp Pendleton down there. And the Mark Jewelers was big for the Army. It might have been exclusive for the Army bases.
The question is there an easy way just from the cover to be able to tell if it's a Mark Jewelers, or do you have to open up? Because I'm not really I don't have any Mark Jewelers.
I'm not sure if this is true for all of them, but I do know if there's a star stamp on the cover, like just like a little star, that's a Mark Jewelers. Like, because that stamp, it's like very small, and it's like signifying that it was like on a military base, which is where those Mark Jewelers were.
Oh, okay. But otherwise, you just kind of have to look and.
Yeah.
So that's going to take, I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to have to do it anyways.
Because Mark Jewelers, anything in Mark Jewelers becomes collectible. It doesn't matter if it's a key book. There are Mark Jewelers collectors. Every Mark Jewelers is a key book to a Mark Jewelers collector.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, what'd you bring?
So anyway, last night, it's kind of funny to tell this quick story. I was at the office, and I'm trying to do all the boring stuff first. So yesterday I did all the Superman. It was 2 long boxes full and like 2 to 3 short boxes of like a full short box of Superman from like really late Silver Age, like the last couple issues of Silver Age, into the 90s when it turns into Adventures of Superman, like all that stuff. And then a full, like 3/4 a box of Action Comics. More so like kind of like early 80s, like the same time as like Miller DD, like 81, around there. The Action Comics starts there and then goes into the 90s, and that stuff is just like,
it was a dead time there was a reason that DC hired John Byrne to try to revamp Superman, and then there's a reason why they finally created Doomsday.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to do something.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and I was just like tired, and like I didn't sleep well the night before. And so I was just like, okay, like I'm just going to do the Superman today because I'm already like super tired. I'm not going to care about doing this, and I want to save the fun stuff for later. So going through it, finished, pulled out a box, had some cards, and they were from the Batman animated series. And I was like, oh, there's like character cards. And I was like, oh, these are like really cool. So then I look it up. I'm like, oh, what are the values on some of these? 'Cause some of these have like really cool designs, and they're not really worth much. Then I found that Harley Quinn's first card, her rookie card, is in that
it would be
thing. So I was like, oh dang, is it here? So I like pull it up. He had like a stack. I didn't find it, and I was like, all right, whatever. Like he didn't pull it, no big deal. There's still some other cool ones. So I go home, and then when I get home, I'm like, oh wait, I forgot there's like a box of like half a box of unopened cards. And so
unopened.
Yeah, unopened. So
wow.
I my wife was making dinner, and I was like, when is dinner done? She was like 15 minutes, and I was like, perfect. So I run back to the office, and I'm looking, and I can't find the box. So while I'm looking for the box, I find another box of more cards, and I see the Harley Quinn one just right there on top.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. So I pull that up, and then I'm finding the box. So I bring it home for us to open. But it turned out he had already cut open like a majority of the packs. And then he just like put the cards back in. But there was still, I think, 13 packs that were unopened. So we got to open 13.
That's always fun.
And we didn't pull anything. We didn't even pull a single character card. It's all just like stills from the TV show. But all of that for me to bring the rookie card of Harley Quinn.
Wow.
This card doesn't fetch a huge price raw. This card, though, is pretty valuable in a PSA 10. I do not think that I hold a PSA 10 candidate in my hand. I think it's probably an 8 or a 9. I'm not really too savvy on card grading, at least when it comes to like the old cardboard stuff. I know a little bit more about Pokemon cards. So, yeah.
Man, honestly, I don't know. What would are the dings? I'm looking at the corners. They're all sharp. The edges are all sharp.
The top right looks like it has a little bit of color rub compared to the rest of the corners. But I mean, it is a clean card. I think that's why it's probably.
Man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
What a cool card. Like, I would get it slabbed, even if just so
yeah,
you
I
could
will.
display. You got to. That is really, I've never seen that.
Yeah. So I think this is like one of those things, honestly. Like I said, it's not expensive to get. It is considered her rookie card. So I think I think this is honestly, we haven't done sleepers and head scratchers in a while. I think this is a sleeper.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, cards are big. Sports cards, Pokemon cards, they're far more popular than collecting comics, especially because of space. Like, you can have twice the amount of cards than you have comics and take up way less space.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's huge. And
They do take up less space, and they display really nicely too.
Yeah, they do. So I think this is rookie cards are valuable. You know, first appearances in comics are valuable.
Wow.
This is one of the most iconic characters to come out of the 90s.
I doubt there's that. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say I doubt that. But how many of those are around? You know, I mean, you say they're not. How much does it cost if you had like if you did have a PSA 9? What would it be?
Oh, like 180 to 100. That's what they were going for. And then PSA 10s were like 2 to 250.
Okay, I think that probably is undervalued for.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, considering how much her first appearance is in comics.
Yeah.
And then considering the popularity of cards.
Yep.
And that this would be her first.
I was working at a comic book shop in 1991 when Marvel broke out their inaugural boxes of their Marvel cards of their card sets.
Oh yeah.
And I remember pulling just mad packs because really what I wanted the holograms. That's all I cared about. You know, and I wanted the most valuable comic cards. You know, where they give you like it looks like Hulk 181, but it's just a miniature.
Yeah.
So I have all of those, and I think I sold most of the holograms at some point along the way, but I kept the hologram of the Silver Surfer because it was so cool.
Right, yeah.
But those, I'm surprised those aren't worth more. I think there are some in there that are worth something, probably, and I probably junked those because it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But that was, and I was thinking that was the beginning of it. But the truth is, like I was saying before, DC was doing it in the 60s.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that, you know, the card collectors and comic book collectors, we swim in the same swimming pool.
Yeah.
You know, and we do overlap sometimes, you know, so there's a connection there. I think that's cool, man. Yeah. If you had found another one, I would buy one from you.
I do. I wish I would have found
because I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So. Well, you don't have to buy that for me, but I do have a gift for you.
You do?
I found this in there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. So that's the Catwoman card.
Yeah. Thank you, man. That's really nice.
So I pulled a couple of those. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I gotta get my glasses to get a better look at this one here. That blue on black is tough to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause my eyesight's really 20/20, you know. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love interesting, cool Catwoman stuff.
Yeah.
Those rich, glamorous, and stunningly beautiful Selena Kyle is the darling of the jet set, but she leads a double life.
What's cool about Selena Kyle in the Batman animated series is they made her blonde, like they did from the
originally.
Yeah.
Well, there's a. I think it's the number now. A Batman, like an early Batman, like Batman 32, and I have it coverless, and it's the first time. No, I don't have it coverless. I have it almost coverless. It's beat. But anyway, it's the first time she appears in her actual costume. Like the one that we know her, you know, the black and purple flowing one. Mm-hmm. But her hair's blonde in that issue, oddly enough. And that's wild, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they were just kind of decided. Thank you. That's really nice, man. I appreciate that.
No
I love this kind of stuff. It's just so much fun.
It is. I don't know.
Right on.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when you put your
put them here. There we go. Wow, that's a great thing to bring. I really wish I had brought mine because it would have been really funny.
Yeah, that would have.
But I'll bring them in maybe next time to the show because I think they're really fun. The only reason, in fact, I have to make a correction. I learned about these cards because it showed up on a claim sale. This guy had one, and it's a guy who normally sells like baseball cards and and sports cards, but he had this one, and it was PSA like a 4, and it was going for $30, and I almost bought it, but I thought I'm not really, I don't want to go down that road, you know? But then then you're laying awake at night going, what was I thinking, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that's how I got it. I wound up with it. So,
Did you get graded copies or
no,
or
they're
raw?
just raw, but they're all perfect shape. I
Yeah.
could grade them, I guess, but they don't have a lot of value to make it worth it. But I don't know. All right, so here's my show and tell. This show and tell is there's a lot of nostalgia behind this particular show and tell. I added this to the collection probably about a month ago, or maybe longer actually. And I think of it, but haven't had the opportunity to bring it in. And it's a book that I remember when it came out on the newsstands, and I bought it when it came out on the newsstands.
ASM 300. Hulk 340.
That would, there's a long list of amazing books it could be, but it's a Moon Knight, and it's Moon Knight issue 21, which is this really amazing black and white cover with a little bit of yellow in there. So kind of like a early version of the black and white and red stuff, but it's black and white and yellow. But what's really cool about this is it's signed by Bill Sienkiewicz, and his signatures are really expensive. He doesn't, and his signature's down here, and it's a 9.6. It's also sketched.
Wow.
You see that sketch right there? So I'll just hold it up so you can see the sketches up here in the upper right. If you're listening to this and you can't see it, it's a pretty rudimentary sketch of Moon Knight's hood, just kind of peering over and looking at, so I've seen Sienkiewicz do insane, incredible sketches.
Yeah.
This is not that. This is pretty straight ahead,
Yeah.
This, and it's a 9.6 witness autograph. And I picked this thing up for, if it was over 100, it was barely. I mean, it was stupid cheap. Like it shouldn't be that cheap. I think somebody was expecting a 9.8 and didn't get it and just said, well, I don't want it. I don't value it if it's on 9.8, which I just don't understand,
Why isn't it a 9.8?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I love the cover and I love, I love signatures, and I love I don't have a sketch like that in my collection.
Wait, legitimately, why is this not a 9.8?
I could say that about a few of my books. But I can't complain, because if it was a 9.8, I wouldn't have bought it because I couldn't have afforded it. But now that I have it, I'm going to complain.
What? These are the sharpest corners I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, but there's nothing I can do. Like I couldn't crack it and send it back in because now it's no longer an authenticated or a witness signature.
There's 3 incredibly minor color breaks. I've sent in 9.8s that have had spine ticks, not necessarily color breaking, but spine ticks with like 5 to 7 of them, and they've gotten 9.8s.
Must have had a picky grader that day, huh?
That's because those color breaks, it's like,
and this is a black cover, so color breaks and any ding, it's going to show everything, right?
it's like I had to put the flashlight up to see it.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful 9.6. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Bill Sienkiewicz is there you go. He's my Batman. I'm sorry, Batman. He's my Moon Knight artist. Like I was by Moon Knight when it was in issue number 1. It was coming out in the newsstands, and he was the artist. And he hadn't really come into his style yet. Not really. I don't think he really came into his style until the Elektra Assassin series, where he had that kind of funky. And you see him when he did that sort of became his style.
Yeah.
But he was still good. Like that's an amazing cover.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm really excited about it because those are back to my bicycle days, Bob's bicycle days, when I would bicycle to 7-Eleven and pick those up.
Would you like a Moon Knight fun fact that I learned last night?
Yeah.
Moon Knight doesn't dodge punches.
Well, how do you mean? What does he do?
He takes it.
He just takes it?
Yeah.
Because he just heals?
Yeah.
Or he just doesn't.
It has to do with like his mentality about fear and embracing all that stuff, and of course the healing factor from Khonshu, but
that's more his character, I guess.
So Moon Knight and Deadpool are 2 characters in the Marvel universe that the Taskmaster will not replicate their fighting style.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Yeah. So because he doesn't dodge the punches, Taskmaster won't replicate.
I know there's a storyline with Moon Knight where he and Deadpool go at it. Like there's a point and Moon Knight kicks his butt. Like just decimates him. But of course, he comes back.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what's so fun to have these guys fight each other because and I need to find it because I want to read it. But there's a point where it's one of those moments where Moon Knight comes back into the room and shuts the door. And then you just go at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's great theater,
Yeah.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right.
I should know that because you gave me the omnibus of Moon Knight. And if I'm sure that
Oh,
would be,
right.
I don't know if that would be revealed actually in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you would think it might. But Moon Knight as a character has evolved a lot since those early werewolf appearances.
Yeah.
A lot.
Let's see here.
And I'll, since you mentioned the sleeper aspect of Harley Quinn, I'll just say that everything Moon Knight related to me, in my opinion, is in the sleeper category right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I think where the werewolf appearances are the prices are down, and there's a good time. And then just in terms of the character itself, we still don't know for sure if Moon Knight's coming back, and what's the actor's name? You know all the actors.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, if Oscar Isaac's going to play him, and if he does, it's a slam dunk. But the truth is, we know Moon Knight's going to be in some of the street level stuff, or some of the monster. What do we like the werewolf series? Or he's floating around and he's going to pop up, and when he does, everything Moon Knight related is going to spike again.
Yeah.
And Man Thing and Ghost Rider, he's in Legion of Monsters. He's in that world as well. So.
Yeah. So here's the first bit of news then for you.
Let's go.
Marvel says there are plans for Moon Knight to return to the MCU, but not for a Moon Knight season 2. So he'll be back.
But MCU is in the movies.
Yeah. So
interesting.
He'll be there.
Okay. I wonder if it will be there with Oscar Isaac though.
Yeah, probably.
I hope so because he's such a good actor.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
A Punisher special presentation is officially in the works at Marvel Studios.
So special presentation, that would be like what they did with Werewolf by Night?
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
So
okay, you know what those feel like to me? They feel like the Treasury editions.
Oh yeah,
they're like the TV version of a Treasury edition.
Yeah.
You get all in one episode or whatever, 2 episodes.
It's kind of like a TV movie.
Yeah. So it's just big and chunky, and you get this cool. I loved it. I really think the Werewolf by Night was just overlooked, or maybe it wasn't, but I feel like not enough people appreciated how good it was.
Yeah, I think from my understanding of like rumors and Marvel's future is they kind of want to leave the one season shows behind and do more of these special presentations. So it's like they're going to introduce Agatha into the universe. They're not going to do an Agatha show. They would have done an Agatha special presentation if they want to introduce like Nova. Like Nova has gone back and forth between being a show and a special presentation. So I think that's part of why it got put on halt. And also just from Daredevil had its premiere in New York this week. And so all the Marvel execs, are like doing interviews and press and stuff. And so with the news of Nova that we talked about last week and some of the other shows, some of those execs, like Brad Winderbaum is like pretty much like the showrunner for all these things.
Right.
Not the showrunner, but he kind of like oversees like all the TV shows. And I believe he just said that they're just trying to rework the direction that they're going for the TV shows. And they want to keep shows like Daredevil where it's like, we're going to have multiple seasons of this and it's not going to stop. Like they just started filming Daredevil season 5 today.
Yeah. Let's go. Hey, wait. And I mean, this might be in your news. So if it is, we'll talk about it. I heard some things about Power Man and Iron Fist and Iron Fist showing up in some of this stuff and Jessica Jones and all that stuff. Is that?
Yeah. I don't have any of that in the news, but we can talk about, because it's all like,
it's not doesn't come from the reputable stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's more like speculative.
It's more speculation because of like in the Daredevil trailer when they're in Times Square and you see like all the Fisk mayor stuff. There's like a one of the screens show like a promo for Luke Cage's club or bar that I didn't finish Luke Cage. So it's like the club that he had ended owning at the end of that Netflix season.
Yeah. And then there's some animated stuff that involves Iron Fist and,
Yeah.
that. Yeah. all that Marvel Knights and street level stuff. If you can get it cheap, I tell you, I'll put it this way: if I find it cheap, I'm buying it.
Yeah. I think the Punisher special president. I would love a season 4 because I think he also had 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. I would love a season 4 Punisher, but I don't know. I also learned this week. I didn't know this in Captain America: Winter Soldier. There's a scene where they're tracking down Winter Soldier. It's like when they're in the highway, like that whole like really awesome like fight sequence. There's a scene where a yellow moving truck plows through some cops.
Wow.
And apparently it was teased from the Russo brothers that they had like in their mind that it was the Punisher driving that moving truck.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's
fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So yeah, I'm excited for that special presentation. I hope it's a little bit longer than an hour. Like an hour 15 would be cool. Like a TV movie, just like something like that. I think that'd be cool. But that'll come out next year alongside Daredevil season 5. So and they're aiming for yearly releases with the Daredevil seasons.
Oh man, I know we're gonna get to Daredevil, but I can't wait. I'm so excited about that series.
All right, last bit of Marvel news here. Blade is moving forward. Kevin Feige and Mahershala Ali are apparently happy with the current script, and now they're looking for a director.
Okay, so the rumor is that Feige is in line perhaps to be the next head of what is it, Disney or whatever? Disney movies, whatever.
Lucasfilm?
Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm, because
Kathleen
Kennedy, she retire, I guess?
She's stepping away at the end of this year, Yeah, I mean, he still has... I would imagine he would leave after Secret Wars. I don't think he would leave before then. But I could see Secret Wars being like put the bow on his Marvel career and move on to something else and let somebody else.
Wasn't he the one responsible for some of the Star Wars TV stuff that you love that's so good? Or am I mixing that up with somebody? No, I'm not. I'm mixing it up. Never mind. Who was the creative mind behind like The Mandalorian?
I'm blanking on his name.
The guy that's like single-handedly saved
Dave Filoni.
Filoni, that's what I was thinking of. Filoni. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I forgot this. Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. This is him.
Yeah.
He was the original Scream.
I recognize that guy.
He's in a lot of those like early 2000s like raunchy comedies and stuff. He has been cast in Daredevil Born Again season 2, reported by Deadline today. So people are like, who's he going to be? Like, some people have said Mr. Fear, which I think would be a super, super cool villain to bring in.
Yeah.
Some has said Stiltman, which I think that would be cool.
Please let me get that step. Isn't that Daredevil 8? Is it 9, 8 or 9? Whatever it is.
8, yeah.
I just think that cover is it's so great.
And Mr. Fear is Daredevil 6.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's so good. So it'll be interesting to find out who he ends up playing. I think it'd be cool. Okay, so Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart. Our first look. I'll throw this picture up on the screen. Wait, let me save this picture so you can get a better look at this. All right.
That looks great.
Yeah. So go ahead and zoom into Kyle Chandler's hand. His Green Lantern ring.
Wow. Those guys look awesome.
Yeah.
Get your first Jon Stewarts while you can. Well, they're already through the roof. You have that book.
So I think, I do. So I think people reacted really negatively towards this.
Why? What is wrong? Why?
I mean, here's the thing. I didn't I'm not mad about it, but it also like didn't get me excited. I was kind of just like, okay, like it's just like two guys. Like this isn't necessarily like getting me excited for Green Lantern. Like the ring is a cool touch.
You want to see them in their uniforms,
or maybe more of like an action like pose.
I like that it's given off like kind of there's a smoldering intensity, cool vibe to it that I think is good. I like that.
But I'm not mad about it. Like it's just like I'm kind of like, oh, like yeah, that's cool. But I'm not, and then I'm like,
looks
I'm
a lot
over
cooler
it.
than the version of Green Lantern we're getting in the Superman movie. That's for sure. Dome head,
Yep.
bowl cut man.
And people have pointed out that the ring in that photo is different from the ring that
That we've seen. So could that
Rainer
just,
wears.
is that just a continuity issue that someone just messed up, or do you think there's something to it?
I don't know. So apparently, the show will take place in like Nebraska or Wyoming. There's a string of murders, and it's got mysterious. Well, they end up discovering it's kind of deeper than just murders, and so that's why the Green Lantern boys are on the.
Let's go.
The Hardy boys are on the case.
So are they kind of going with a? Well, I guess they are. It's the mentor mentee story. So is it going to be kind of like the what was the Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, Lethal something or other? I can't remember. The buddy. It's like a buddy.
Weapon?
Lethal Weapon, like a buddy.
Yeah, buddy cop.
Yeah, buddy cop.
Yeah,
sort of
probably.
movie. It's a great formula.
Yeah.
You know, I like it, especially if the mentor is like a little bit edgy, a little bit grumpy. I think that's perfect.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why people reacted so negatively towards that is because people want to see like a prime Hal Jordan and not like a old, like, because it just means we're not going to be getting Hal Jordan in the DCU for a long time. Since this is the beginning of the entire DC universe, essentially.
Maybe they'll give us some flashbacks.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe like a prequel movie or something.
Yeah.
But
if it's successful.
Honestly, all of the Green Lanterns are cool. Like, I was going through some of the Green Lanterns in that collection the other day because he has like a full run from like 100 onward. And what's the bowl cut guy's name?
I can't remember all of a sudden. We got to get James from Mint Hunter Comics on here. He's all things Green Lantern. He knows everything. But this is not something that we should know. It's like I know it, but I can't bring it up.
His last name is Rainer, right? Because I learned of his.
We got Hal Jordan, we got John Stewart, and we have. I mean, I can see the cover. I know who he is, and at least I have an excuse. I'm in my 50s.
Gosh,
it happens. Name? What's your excuse?
What's the actor's name? Gosh, we're really fumbling.
Yeah. This has now become a prime candidate for an edit.
Superman movie. Guy Gardner.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We have to like repent in dust and ashes for not knowing Guy Gardner. Come on. It's not even that hard of a name.
Okay. So I thought I was totally confusing. I learned of this other Green Lantern named Kyle Rayner this week, and he is pretty cool. I found his first appearance in the lot, and he's just like, he kind of took over in the 90s, like late 80s and the 90s, like after the Jon Stewart main. Yeah, it was like Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and then Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner's pretty cool. So
yeah, Kyle Rayner would have been. Well, but I never really read Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You know? Although I love I love the Neil Adams. You guys know this. I love the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil run.
Yeah,
I have all that. But we had this conversation before, and we got to get to Daredevil. But I've finished the run.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like springing the money to get them all graded. Don't you think I should?
Follow your heart.
I don't know, man. My heart will lead me to the poorhouse.
Get my whole collection graded.
Yeah, exactly. But we do have a major con coming here in a few weeks, and we're going. And I'm definitely bringing some books to just hand off to them. And I'm really thinking that I'm going to do that. I know I can't get you to press them because you got too many things to press, but I think they're in good shape anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I have the other press at the shop. So
it's got like 2 presses, you guys.
I haven't this week I kept meaning to do a test press to like get it up and running. So I have 2 tests, but I just kept getting caught up with other stuff while working. So, but I do have nothing's being pressed over there.
But I think I just have to do it. I think half of it's slabbed, the other half isn't.
How many books is it?
It's like, how many do I have left? Like maybe 6, so not, and some of them are big books, man. Like, the 2 drug issues, 86 and 87, 92. Anyway, I just, and they're in good condition. So it wouldn't be like I'm grading something that's a mid-grade book.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I need to complete it. I can't have half of it slabbed and half of it not slabbed. It's just, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Would
you sell it after if you got them all graded and you completed it?
No, because you know why? If I did, let's say I put them up on one of your claim sales. Okay. I love our Instagram community, you guys. Okay. So no shade on you guys, but you all are low ballers, man. And I know what would happen. You would see the whole run and you'd say, okay, how much for the whole run? And you'd want to get it at a discount. But philosophically, I disagree with you. I'd say, no, I've done the work to compile this entire run. If you want the whole run, I'm going to charge you more. I'm going to charge you a premium. Now, many of you are probably listening to this saying, well, then you won't sell it to me. And that's exactly the point. So the answer is no, I probably wouldn't.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I get you.
And I'm a low baller sometimes too, so I'm not knocking you. But if I'm picking up on the seller side, nah, I want to keep them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I get you. All right. That's all the news I got. And that's all the show and tell.
Okay.
So next, let's, before we get into Daredevil, let's just talk about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we'll go spoilers for the first 3 episodes, just for anybody listening.
Okay.
I'll start this show. We watched, so they did all the marketing and promo for this show, and then they released a clip of one of the first scenes, like when he gets bit by the spider. They released that before the show came out on Twitter. And I saw the clip and I thought the animation was horrible. I was like, this is so ugly. Like, I would not watch this. So the show comes out. We didn't watch. Dara and I were like sitting down trying to figure out what we wanted to watch. We don't have any like sitcoms we're watching. So if we're like going to eat dinner and then she's going to stream after, a sitcom is like ideal. It's like perfect. Like we'll be done eating by the time show's over, the show ends, and she can get to streaming. So I couldn't find it, and I was like, well, the Friendly Neighborhood show came out a couple weeks ago. Like we can watch it. Watch the first episode, and for some reason, it was just like that scene that I think was poorly animated. And you get used to it as the show goes on because it's 3D and 2D. Like it's a 3D style, but it's 2D animation. But it looks like it's 3D. So it's got this like weird kind of aesthetic to it. So we watched the first couple episodes and we're like, oh, that was surprisingly good. And then we didn't watch it because I think we were just binging Severance at the time. And then we're all caught up on Severance now. And I was like, well, let's just go back and finish Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So we went back to watch it, and the animation gets better, and the story was like really captivating.
Yeah.
Really fresh and unique, like a really fresh take on Spider-Man. A total twist on his origin and kind of where he's coming from. And I mean, as you go on through the show, Norman Osborn is his mentor. That's not a spoiler. They promoted that in the marketing. It just takes a very unique turn, and it just goes down a very interesting path story-wise when you get to the end of the show, because you're like, okay, the demise is coming. Like, this is Norman Osborn. This is his Joker. Like, this is his his enemy. But
here's one of the questions I have for you, because you're in up on most of this stuff anyway. What's the premise of it? Is it some alternate universe, or I mean, it's clearly a different story. Like I had no idea when I started watching it what it was at all. I hadn't seen any trailers. I didn't know anything about it, and I start watching, and right away I'm like, okay, this is a different story. Like this isn't.
Yeah.
This is not his origin that I know of. You know, it's different, and then the relationships are different and different characters. So what are they? How are they doing that? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, it's an alternate universe, just another Spider-Verse thing. Okay. The whole premise is kind of like, so people have joked on Twitter. This is, what if the MCU Spider-Man was actually cool? Like that's the alternate universe. Or like, what if or the other one was like, what if the MCU Spider-Man, like had actual depth? Is like some other ones I'd seen. This is pretty funny, but
fighting words.
It's pretty much like, I guess I've heard. I don't know how true this is. I don't know if this is just people speculating or what, but I've heard people say that it is like almost the same path that Spider-Man had, like in the MCU, but it's like a what if. Sorry, let me go back a little bit, because his apartment is the exact same apartment as the movies, so there's like that connection. Okay. Now obviously there's like different side characters, and we don't technically know how Spider-Man got bit by the spider in the MCU, so that could be different, but it's the same exact apartment. Okay. And that introduction with Norman is the exact same introduction that Peter has with Tony Stark and Captain America Civil War. So I think that the whole like kind of premise is like, what if Norman mentored Spider-Man instead of Tony Stark?
So what's so fun about the alternate universe stuff is that they're presenting us this story in a full context, you know, of all the lore. So everybody knows it. Yeah. So when Norman Osborn shows up at the end of, I guess it was first episode, I think, or second episode, whatever. You're thinking, yeah, here's the bad guy. Now I don't know, because I'm only 3 episodes in, but they can certainly take advantage of what I'm expecting to give me a shock or a surprise, because I can't imagine a world where he isn't the case. But they have set up, at least in the first 3 episodes, a reason that perhaps he wouldn't consider. I mean, he certainly doesn't consider him an enemy right now. Yeah, 3 episodes in, but I'm just waiting for the betrayal. To happen. But anyway, so I love the fresh take on stuff. I mean, you know, that kind of makes me think of the absolute storylines that have come out DC, and then the ultimate storylines that have come out. I like the idea of it. You know, it's not a new idea. They've done it before, but it's fresh. It's fun.
Yeah. I totally lost what I was going to say. What was the last thing? So you said you're 3 episodes in.
3 episodes.
What was like? Was there a cliffhanger with episode 3?
Not really a cliffhanger. Just what's established is that Peter. So we're going ahead with spoilers, right?
Yeah, okay. The full spoilers through 3 episodes.
Is that Peter basically says to Norman, "Hey, welcome to my team, because now you're on Team Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you're gonna help me soup up my thing, and we're gonna be working together to fight, you know, crime or whatever."
Okay, so Norman saw him in the stairwell changing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in the first 3 episodes. So basically, if you guys remember in Captain America Civil War, what happened was Tony Stark had seen these videos of the crime fighting spider. You know, he calls him a bunch of nicknames, and he ends up deducing that this is Peter Parker. Tony Stark does. So then he goes to Peter's house, gives him that like fake invite to MIT so that they don't like put the alert on Aunt May, and he's like, okay, you're gonna come with me to Europe because we're gonna fight Captain America because we have beef or whatever. And so like that's how Spider-Man gets recruited.
We have beef.
So in the show, Norman Osborn actually comes to Peter's house looking for Peter to actually give him an offer to come be an intern at Oscorp. Yeah. So it's like actually like he's like, I don't know that you're Spider-Man. He's like, you're a young kid, you're a genius. I want to give you a very exclusive opportunity to come be an intern at Oscorp. And Peter's like, okay, great. So he goes, and I love that the show's doing this. The movie kind of does it, but it doesn't like really focus on it. But the show really does like hone in on the fact that Peter is horrible at balancing his life.
Yeah. He's always late.
Yeah, this is something that actually I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies did really well with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Is they kind of made like that juggle like very obvious. With the MCU stuff, he's kind of more Spider-Man and less Peter.
Yeah.
So to say, so like it's kind of hard to have like that kind of balancing the two lives.
Yeah, in this one it's creating tension in every one of his relationships.
Yeah.
Every one of his opportunities in school with his friend who, you know, and then his potential his crush and I mean all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's at the internship and he's like working on stuff. And then on like a news, something happens. I don't remember. It might have been like a fire or something.
Yep, fire.
So he goes into a stairwell and he changes into Spidey suit, which for a genius kid, it should be pretty obvious that there's going to be cameras in Oscorp.
Find
stairwell.
a bathroom, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, episode 2 ends with Norman kind of being like, this is you. And like showing him the video like of him changing. And so then they end up kind of starting that partnership. And Norman's like, hey, I can help you be better. Like I can make suits for you and I can be like your guy in the chair type thing. And so that's kind of like the first 3 episode setup is like he's actually coming to Peter for his help naturally because Norman Osborn is also a genius and you just put them near each other. Mm-hmm. Things end up getting revealed and that reveal comes to light. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess we can have like a superhero relationship now.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really cool to find out that the whole internship was really just a ruse for Osborn to figure out which of these 4 suspects that he narrowed it down to is actually Spider-Man, or working for Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, that's what he thought. He didn't think any of them were actually Spider-Man, but he was like, based on the tech that Spider-Man has, it has to be one of these guys.
Yeah, so I've got all the geniuses already working for me, so it's got to be somebody younger. So I narrowed it down to one of you 4. So I offered you all an internship, and I just watched. I thought it was a really cool idea. And the reason that Norman, at least the reason he states that he wants to find Spider-Man is he owes him a debt of gratitude because Spider-Man saves this person randomly in episode 1, I think. And it ends up being Norman Osborn's son,
Harry.
Harry, you know, we know, and that's not a surprise. The guy says I'm Harry, and you know it's Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
And so at least right now, for where I am, and I haven't watched it all yet, but I mean, Norman really is grateful to Peter and wants to help him.
Yeah.
I have PTSD. I have Norman Osborn PTSD. I don't trust him. I'm seeing William Dafoe in there, and he's going to turn evil any minute now. You know, because he may really want to help Peter, but he's Norman Osborn, and he's going to slip. The personality that becomes a Green Goblin is going to somehow get in there, right?
Yeah.
If they're going to go down that road, but maybe I don't know. Can you tell I like it? Like, I'm interested. It's really been fun.
Yeah. And you're not a Spider-Man guy.
I know.
So I knew, I mean, I'm sure you knew when I texted you, but I would not have recommended a Spider-Man animated TV show to you if I didn't think it was good and that you would actually like it.
And that's why it's been, whenever it was you texted me, I've already watched 3 of the 8, is it 8 episodes?
Something like that. Yeah.
3 of the 8 episodes. And I thought I would get even a 4th one in today, but I just couldn't do it. But it'll be done by the time we record again because I'm not, I'm hooked. I need to know what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So it's good storytelling.
I think maybe the next episode or the episode after that, like episode 5 or 6. This is a half spoiler past episode 3, but they also did market this. But Daredevil's in this show. So
yes, you told me that.
Yeah, and I had to tell you that as like a hook. Like,
you gave me a little sweetener.
Yeah, but there's a scene. Let's see. I can't spoil the context of how Daredevil gets wrapped in, but basically, Spider-Man and Daredevil kind of like meet on a rooftop, and Daredevil's kind of like, you're kind of out of your league here. Like I respect that I can tell that you want to do good, but you're out of your depth on this one. And so they start fighting, and I promise you, I mean, I can't promise you because I don't actually know, but I'm almost certain that they dumped all of their, like, the biggest portion of their animating budget into this fight scene
Really?
on the rooftop.
Let's go.
Because it is gorgeous. It is so well done. It's a rooftop fight scene, and the moon is like ginormous behind them, just like
Nice.
abnormally large. And it's a full moon, and they're fighting, and it's like, it's cool because Daredevil's like not taking the fight serious, and Spider-Man's like actually fighting, and you can tell like, and Charlie Cox is back to voice, so he does voice Daredevil.
Nice.
And he's just kind of like going along with it, and it's really, really cool. I mean, you could tell that they put all the money into making sure that scene was animated well.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. So, a lot of great heroes that they bring around. Do you know who Lonnie Walker is?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much everybody.
I know the name, so I know it's significant, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't place it.
It's somebody significant to the Daredevil lore, or to the Spider-Man lore. His friend Nico Manaro is another, more of like a modern hero. His crush, Propangan, she's a Filipina superhero. So all of these, like, it's really cool because they're just bringing in all these, it's just jam packed with people that will become somebody, and I think that's really cool.
I am really enjoying it. And so thanks for the heads up.
There's a twist at the end that I did not see coming.
Really?
Like, Dara and I were watching, and I'm not kidding. I'm pretty good at like picking up like the twist and like figuring stuff out. At least I think so. I didn't see this coming.
You found out that Galactus was behind everything?
Yeah.
That would be a shock.
Yeah, that would be a shock.
Galactus is interested in stealing jewelry and making.
So yeah, a very, very cool twist ending that I think wraps up the first season in a very satisfactory way.
Look, I gotta say, X-Men '97 was fantastic.
Yeah,
this one is good, and I'm not really in on all the animated stuff much, like Clone Wars and all that stuff. I used to tease my students, and they'd say, "Oh, did you watch Clone Wars, or did you, they'll throw these things out," and I'll go, "Yeah, I don't watch cartoons." And they would get so mad at me, and I was only being facetious. Of course I do. I've watched a lot of great anime and stuff. So, and animated things. But it's not the first plate I reach for at the buffet, when there's a lot of stuff going on. But that's going to start to change, because I have to say, storytelling on both of these has been really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was surprised how much Dara liked it. Like, she really liked the Friendly Neighborhood show, which was a shock to me. And I asked her, what did you like better, X-Men '97 or this? And she was like, they're both really good. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I
think they have 4 seasons. Disney has committed to 4 seasons of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So
does this count as canon or no?
No. Well, in its own universe.
Okay. So I'm just trying to catch up on all this stuff. So, in other words, could there be these characters show up in a comic book? Would Marvel do that?
What do you mean?
They do that. They're doing Ultimate Spider-Man. They have Miles Morales. They've got Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Would this particular Peter Parker? Could it show?
They already made a comic for it.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
there's my answer. Do you still have the saggy uniform, or does he fix that pretty soon?
Yeah, on the first. On the cover.
Yeah.
I think it's an AF-15 homage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always interested to see, how it. So just curious then. So then the official first is the official first appearance of this particular universe version of Spider-Man in a comic book or in the animated series?
I think it's the show.
See, so that's interesting because every once in a while I see animation cells up for sale.
Oh,
So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of buying something collectible that you have to explain to somebody why it's collectible to sell it to them later, because it's just a barrier to purchase, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you could get your hands on an animation cell from episode 1 of the series, you technically have the true first appearance. You know, I think it would count whether it's the first frame or just the first episode. I think no matter what you would get in there, it should count, right?
The comic for this show, it's a prequel. So the comic is a prequel to the show, and issue 1 goes for like $15-$20.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's probably in that bag right there, or in a bag in the closet, unbagged and boarded, just sitting there.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's so great.
yeah, really good show. I highly recommend you guys to check it out. I think it's worth watching. And
Yeah, I concur. It is.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Spider-Man fan per se. I like Spider-Man, but I'm just, he's not my favorite.
yeah, I'll be interested to follow up with you next week, because when you finish it,
I know you're trying to convert me. I know what's happening.
All right. Daredevil Born Again comes out next week, March 4th. I can't believe February's already done.
I mean, it's good, right?
March starts tomorrow.
My
birthday month.
Yes, that's right. Early in March is your birthday, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have your gift.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Here we go. Another copy of Daredevil 1?
Well, reprint if you want. I can get you a reprint.
Well, funny enough, actually, this week in the collection, in the 90s, Marvel did these flashbacks, and they were like reprints of the first appearance and first issues, and there was like added stories. And I found the Daredevil 1 flashback and the Hulk 1 flashback.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
there's more stories added to them?
Yeah, there's like a Foggy Nelson, he's got like a shady history or something like that.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'll show you the covers after. But
okay.
Daredevil Born Again, first 2 episodes have been seen and viewed by a lot of people. Today's, I guess, people got the rest of the season, and people said that it's spectacular.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, everybody that saw the first 2 episodes pretty much said, it's incredible. It's a perfect pickup point. Like, if you love the original, you're not going to be disappointed with where this picks up. I saw somebody who watched the full show said that it's season 2 is kind of seen as the low point as from the Netflix series. I think just people really weren't into the Hand. In that whole storyline, but season 2 you also get the trial of Frank Castle, and that whole arc is incredible.
Is Elektra in the season 2?
Yeah.
See, I like that because I like any of that stuff between Matt and Elektra.
Yeah. So, I think people like the Elektra, and then people like the trial of Frank Castle, but people didn't like the Hand aspect of it, which I guess I understand, because that was like a bit of like a mystical element to a very grounded show.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But yeah, the whole Frank Castle arc in season 2, like the rooftop scene where he has Daredevil chained up, that might be the best episode in the whole show. But anyways, people view season 2 as the low point of the Netflix show, but not even as it's bad, just compared to season 1 and season 3. And pretty much people have been it's better than season 2. And so that's kind of the barrier. And I've seen a lot of people go season 1, 9 out of 10, season 2, 8 out of 10, season 3, 10 out of 10. So we're looking at a 8.5, 9 out of 10 for season 4. Just from what people have seen. Obviously you can form your own opinion when the show comes out, but
yeah,
as a teaser and what we're looking for, that's kind of,
I want what I want out of the Daredevil series is I want it. And I think probably it's already occurred in the first 3 seasons, but I want people who watch it to feel the way I felt when I was reading Daredevil for the first time. That tone and that street level violence and the conflicted Matt Murdock, the seedy Hell's Kitchen vibe. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because I think that's peak Daredevil. Doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Daredevil fighting Thanos. I want to see Daredevil fighting the Kingpin or Muse or whatever. And I want to see him both hating and loving Hell's Kitchen at the same time. Both hating and loving himself. Both hating and loving Daredevil. That's what I want to see. And if that's in this, and I'm pretty sure it is, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Matt Charlie Cox said he was asked in an interview during the press tour, like, would you rather reunite with the Defenders or go beyond the Avengers? And he said that he would love to see Daredevil just be a part of the Avengers because it would just be a really cool arc for him. But you could tell that even the way that he was saying it was I know where Daredevil belongs. Yeah. But it would be cool for him to step out of his element for a movie and to just be part of something bigger than him.
They'd have to give him a side task to do, because otherwise, if he's in there with the Avengers, what he brings to the table is muted by everybody else. What is he? What?
But is it though? I think he would wipe the floor with Sam Wilson, Captain America. I think he would destroy Sam Wilson, Captain America.
Yeah,
and that's the leader of the Avengers right now.
But in the comic book lore, you would never imagine Daredevil to beat Cap, right? But I think Sam Wilson's Cap, maybe, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just, you got Avengers are just they're like mega heroes,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll have to find a place for him in Doomsday or Secret Wars, because he's too beloved of a character, and has honestly, the cult following that he has,
and his alter ego plays such an important role in how the hero behaves, and I guess that's was true for Tony Stark and Iron Man too. So they could really get into that part of it, but then they have to make him a really big focus.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the more mega heroes, people forget that Thor actually has an alter ego, at least initially in it, but nobody even thinks about that.
Yeah.
It's Thor.
Donald Blake.
Yeah. Thor is Thor, and Donald, what's that? Right.
Yeah.
So it's the hero part is just so much bigger. And even Hulk, he obviously has an alter ego in Bruce Banner, but no one really talks about Bruce Banner, and what his, okay, we have Professor Hulk or Bruce Banner, he's there, but in what way does Bruce Banner's personality affect the Hulk when he's the Hulk? Not at all. Yeah. Hulk is just smashing stuff, and that's accurate. It should be that way.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where I'm going with this, except to say to get the most out of Daredevil, you got to spend time with Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
You can't just have him out there breaking bones. He's as much Matt Murdock as he is Daredevil, or if not more.
Yeah.
So do you ever think about Natasha when you think about Black Widow? You don't. It's just Black Widow.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Daredevil really shines. He's so complex.
Yeah.
So look, if they can do it, because he's one of my top 3 favorite.
Yeah.
And I know what you're going to say. Then why don't you have Daredevil 1? What's wrong with you? I know that's what you're going to say. If you're not going to say it, you're going to think it.
It's at an all-time low right now. I don't know how many I've sent you. I'm pretty sure I sent you, I think it was a 2.0 or a 2.5, and it was 1,300.
It was 17.
Why?
That's an outrage.
If I didn't buy this collection, I would have bought that. It is a true outrage.
I think it's gone. I think the ship has sailed. I think even already now. You're not, because if anybody's got it, they're not selling it on the low right now, a week before it drops.
Yeah.
There's no chance. If I was going to do it, I probably should have done it, and I didn't do it. So now I'm going to have to pay extra. Bummer. It's a matter of time.
Loser.
But I had to get the Batman with the Catwoman cover. That was too look at what I bought. The Zoot with the Matt Baker cover and the Sodi book, and then the FF3. I don't regret buying any of those 3, but I could have not bought any of those 3 and got a pretty decent copy of Daredevil 1. Let's not deny it.
Yeah,
that is true.
I would have rather had FF3 and DD1. But I'm also not a huge Golden Age guy. So.
You guys, I'm falling into the Golden Age, and it's getting really expensive. I'm into it. Oh, by the way, I got it off. I got it all worked out finally after 6 months of putting it off and then trying to get back to it. I can finally now bid on heritage auctions.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's nice or not, man. It's gonna get because that's where you see bangers. But I was seeing too many videos on YouTube of people saying they got this crazy deal on heritage.
Yeah.
Like a book that somehow slipped under the radar, nobody really knew about, and was this crazy hard to find, golden age book. So I had to at least go do a little walking through that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, keep doing it and tell other people to do it, because once those heritage sales start going up, that's when everything else. If people are like, oh, if it's going for that on, because the mindset will literally be, oh, if it's going for that on heritage, that means even if I buy it for this on eBay or this on Instagram, I'm getting it cheaper than that person did because that person had to pay the buyer fee.
Yeah.
So sales on heritage boost all around.
Okay, so you guys know how that I'm a Catwoman collector, and we kind of laughed the fact that there's no way I could ever get Catwoman's first appearance because Batman won.
Yeah.
But what was up on Heritage recently, and this is the reason I started trying to reconnect with Heritage and there was some mix up with my ID when I finally got it figured out. They had individual Batman 1 pages.
Oh, I saw this.
And they were going for prices in my price range. So it may be at some point in the realm of possibility for me to get a page of Batman. In fact, the page where Selena appears for the first time. Now, she will not be in costume. She's not in costume in the first one. And she's just called the Cat. She's not even Catwoman yet.
Yeah.
That's issue 2. But that's possible. I can actually get that. And if I got that, I mean, it's kind of exciting because I was thinking, well, this is fun to collect Catwoman and all this, but I'll never get her first appearance. But I actually kind of could in a weird and cool way, right? Like, in what way would you do it? I guess if I had a totally coverless beat Batman 1, it might make more money to sell them page by page.
Yeah, true.
Get the first Joker, which is, the splash page. Anyway, so if I ever bring that to show and tell, I'm telling you that to me is as good as an FF1. Like,
sure.
Because it's a piece of Batman 1 and it's, anyway.
Back to Daredevil.
Back to Daredevil.
All right. So what are your thoughts, expectations? What are you hoping to see? So we know Muse is part of it.
Yep.
We know Kingpin's mayor. What are your expectations? What do you think's gonna happen?
Oh man, because I haven't read the Muse story, so I don't know if they're going to totally adapt that. But so if they do, that'll be all new to me. But as far as how Daredevil interacts with Kingpin, I hope they don't declare war on each other. I hope there's this simmering truce the whole time. I hope they work together the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a more interesting dynamic than, at some point they have to battle, because we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more interesting for the Matt Murdock character, because he's conflicted working with Daredevil, working with Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
He doesn't like him. He doesn't trust him. And even if he could trust him, he still knows he's a bad guy and he's done bad things.
Yeah.
So he's never going to be, in Matt Murdock's eyes, someone that he wants to work with,
right,
or have any kind of partnership with anyway. So the longer you hold that tension where he kind of feels it's the lesser of two evils, the better it is for storytelling. So that's what I'm looking forward to and hoping for, especially that. But I'm really interested in learning about Muse. Like, I've intentionally not read those books because I kind of want to just experience it in how this TV series brings it out. Now, what about Frank Castle? We know he's going to be in it. Am I really alone in saying this? I just want him to be as Punisher-like as possible, as bad as he is. I want to see him also causing conflict with Matt Murdock, because he's breaking bones and he's dealing with people the way the Punisher deals with people, and he's not making any excuses. That's what I want to see. I think I am going to see it. Right?
Yeah.
So now I think I already know that was it Karen's not there. What's the actor's name? Wall? I can't remember her name. The actress who plays
Deborah Ann Wall.
Yeah, Deborah Ann Wall. She's not in it, right?
She is.
Oh, then I'm already getting that too, because I want that too.
Yeah.
So Karen Page is in it. Then I'm getting everything I want. But is Foggy in it?
Yes.
They brought them all?
They originally were not going to be.
That's
in
right.
It.
Then yeah. I think if I'm getting everything I want already, I don't think they're going to be able to do this. They probably shouldn't, because it's too much. But because it's called Born Again, I wonder if they're going to explore any of Matt Murdock's faith and if that's going to get in there a little bit. I kind of hope they do because that's also a really interesting part of his character. But it could get pretty convoluted. It can't do everything. Like I'm asking for a lot. How many episodes? 10 episodes?
9.
Yeah. So I can't get everything.
I mean, I'm sure they will. You can't not tell a Daredevil story
I know.
and not have that. Like, that's pivotal. Not just to Matt, but that's pivotal to Matt and Daredevil. It's his struggle with his faith and with justice and how he sees justice being executed. And yeah, I think they'll have to. It'll be interesting because his priest dies at the end of season 3.
Right.
Remember, Bullseye kills him.
Okay. What about Bullseye? Is Bullseye coming up in this one too?
Bullseye's in it. So Bullseye, if you remember at the end of season 3, he
thought he's dead.
Kingpin had like pushed him against the corner of the wall and like snapped his spine. And then at the very end of like, it wasn't like a post-credit scene, but it was like pretty much, it was him on the surgical table and it was like him like face down with his arms spread. And then the camera's like going from the floor up. You know how like, if you go to like the massage or chiropractor, you got the thing that your face goes into.
Your face goes through
so
the
it's
hole.
like that. He was on a surgical table with like that. And then the camera's like kind of like slowly zooming up to him. And then he like opens his eyes. And so in the comics, when he got his back broken, I believe they like used adamantium on his spine. And so we just saw Captain America Brave New World and they actually showed adamantium in the spine.
Yeah.
When right before Isaiah went to go attack President Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could be adamantium or it could not be adamantium. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, he pretty much has like spine restructure.
Okay, well
surgery.
then in that case, I want to see the Punisher and Bullseye go at it.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. That'd be because they're both vicious.
Yeah,
and they're just killers. Yeah, both of them are. Could I get like in one of the episodes just a brief Echo cameo? I wouldn't mind that either.
Maybe
because she's in that world.
Yeah.
She's definitely in the Kingpin's world, and she's. I'm pretty heavily invested in that character as far as comics go, so I wouldn't mind it. What about you?
Little clap.
What are your hopes?
I just want it to be violent.
I think you're gonna get your wish.
Yeah, I want it to be violent. I want Bullseye to cause chaos in Matt's life. Like he kind of did in season 3, but he wasn't really Bullseye yet.
Right.
He was just like this like Kingpin's assassin. And he killed his priest. But that's not like, I think somebody's going to die. And I actually don't think it's going to be Karen. I think it's going to be Foggy.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to kill Foggy. They've said on the press tour that they made a decision in the show that they're not even fully sure that they liked. And Charlie Cox says that he really wasn't like a fan of this decision, but they made it and they're going to have stories to tell because of it. So I think that's them killing off Foggy. I think that would send Matt down a spiral more so than any other character. And I think Foggy is going to get like the Elektra, like Bullseye killing Elektra in the comics. Elektra died another way in the Netflix show. So I think Bullseye is going to do to Foggy what Bullseye in the comics did to Elektra, and then the impact that's going to have on Matt, I think is going to...
Do you think they'll homage it with the whole...
Maybe. They
should.
Could, yeah.
They should.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry, Foggy.
I think Foggy's a goner, which is... It's tough because Foggy is like the one... like
it's his conscience.
Well, Karen died and has stayed dead in comics since... did Kevin Smith... Was he the one that killed her? I don't remember. But it was in the Volume 2 run before David Mack got onto that run. and Brian Michael Bendis. And so she's stayed dead. Like, she's never been revived. You know, a lot of people die and get revived. And there's like Karen Page, Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben,
Yeah.
Captain Stacy. Like, all these people have like stayed dead. And so I don't know if they'll kill Foggy and keep him dead, or I mean, I guess they'd have to because of how grounded this world is. But yeah, I mean, it's a risk for sure because he's a character that's kind of like the angel, like on Matt's shoulder, and so with Karen not being an angel herself and like her shady history and kind of the struggle she has, she can't be that for Matt. So who's going to be that for Matt if they do kill off Foggy? So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I think what I want to see is for Bullseye to really slip into the Bullseye character and just like make Matt's life hell.
They bring back Elektra.
There's rumors that she's coming back, that the actress.
Well, I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I thought she was great. Like Elektra, if the hand's in it, she can come back.
Yeah. So something you mentioned earlier about the Defenders, like Luke Cage, Iron Fist, all of them coming back. So there's no confirmation. But, you know, today they started filming season 2. Yesterday, Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones, also of Breaking Bad fame.
Yep.
She, the past few weeks, couple months, whatever, she's been posting like workout videos. No biggie, right? Everybody kind of does what they can to stay fit.
I post my workout videos. They get the most views. No, I'm just kidding.
But then yesterday, right? She'd been posting those workout videos for a while, but then yesterday, she posted a selfie inside of a car and said something like "just landed in New York" or something like that. And so New York is where they're filming Daredevil season 2, and she's been working out.
I need to follow her on Instagram. I need to get all this information.
So yeah,
I thought the Jessica Jones was on par with Daredevil, like in season 1. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, season 1 Jessica Jones was really good. I didn't watch 2 or 3. I heard it's like
Yeah,
but
it wasn't as good. They got when she kind of got dragged into the storylines of Power Man and Iron Fist, and those were just not as good.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because why couldn't they be as good, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the first season 1 of Jessica Jones was really
top
good.
notch, for sure. So I want to see Bullseye just make Matt's life hell. I want to see Punisher do this Punisher thing just like you.
Yeah.
Muse will be very interesting. I hope it's comic accurate because that dude's a psychopath.
Yeah.
And honestly, long term, for the just Daredevil lore, this is not my idea, and I don't have the person who originally posted this, but this person basically said Bullseye should be a character that for some reason in the entirety of the MCU is almost like immortal. He just pops up into like different, like he pops up in a Moon Knight show and he just makes Moon Knight's life hell. He pops up in like, this movie and he just causes chaos. Cause like, that's what he is. He's just like this unhinged psychopath that has no boundaries. Yeah. And he'll do anything.
Joker or Riddler-esque, right?
Yeah.
Kind of both.
Yeah. And so just to just have like this, because what Marvel is missing right now is a thread that goes through everything. And so you could just have this villain who's a nutcase just pop up in all of these different shows causing mayhem. And you can just have this nice, like this great character, this awesome villain, a convincing villain, a wicked villain, where it's like everybody hates him, but everybody loves him at the same, he's such a good villain that you like him, but like he does such horrible things you can't like him, like that type of thing. You just have him pop up and stuff. Like I think that's great, and I think that the Marvel could use something like that just to help connect things on a street level for sure. Like obviously, you're not gonna have Bullseye go up against like Doom or Kang or something like that because they would eviscerate him. But on a street level, like maybe if they did like a Ms. Marvel season 2, right? Like.
What would be cool would be Bullseye against Gambit because they both have the cards.
Oh yeah,
because Bullseye's trick, and he just kills people with those cards.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun. We'd have to do it kind of almost like maybe in a Deadpool type of way where maybe it's more of a spoofy type thing, but where Gambit's on there because they both have that thing going. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Colin
Anyway.
Farrell, the original Bullseye.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. He did a good job too.
Yeah.
I'm just into it right now. Like I'm ready to dive in and just absorb it. I'm very much looking forward to it. I just think the future is bright for the industry. There's a lot of good media coming out, a lot of good shows, a lot of good movies, I think, and a lot of things to be optimistic about.
Yeah.
You know, be pumped for.
100%. All right. A few minutes left here. Shall we?
Yeah, I want to see.
All right.
This collection is never ending. Like we got the cards, you've got whole bins and boxes you still have to go through.
All right, let's see here.
And here's more.
I just pulled this off the press. Since we were just talking about Daredevil.
Gosh.
Daredevil 168. All right. I have this down 9496 candidate.
It's just gorgeous. It looks like the one that I had originally that I sold. Now I have another one that's like a 7.5. My life will not be complete until I have this in at least a 9.6. Oh my goodness. It's so clean.
This right here is a newsstand copy of ASM 238, the first Hobgoblin. This is a 9.6 or better. And I'm just saying this for me, like I'm not selling these as is. This is my, like the highest I grade is 9.4 plus. Sometimes I'll do a plus if I really think it's like a candidate. So if I'm grading all of these, I'm just saying 9.4 plus. But when I submit to CGC, I try to give them my actual like estimation. So I think both of these have a shot at really high grades. So I do think that this also has a 9.6 potential.
This is in my top 5 all-time favorite comic books. For nostalgic reasons and because it's just sick cover and all the other things you guys know about me. Frank Miller and Elektra and all that stuff. Wow. Where's the one with the ridiculously white pages? Is that in there too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm not kidding. The pages are as white as the backing board.
Yeah, this is I I honestly, if this doesn't come back in 9.8, like I don't like this is a 9.8 candidate.
Yeah, you just crack it open and resubmit.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's nothing wrong with this book.
But the pages are as white as the whiteboard that comic is sitting on.
Yeah, it is the whitest pages I've ever seen.
The only other time I've seen pages that white were when we went to Las Vegas and the guy was giving us a fake FF48.
Oh yeah,
and the pages were that white.
Yeah,
but except it was light as a feather. We're like, yeah, this is counterfeit.
Yeah.
Except in this case, it's the real deal.
Yeah, and this is a great book, X-Men 141. Yeah, this book isn't. There's nothing wrong with this book.
Are you going to bring it to WonderCon and hand it off?
No, these will be shipped out way before.
You're like, I'm not giving them to you.
Yeah.
So when you do a shipment, let me know. Maybe I'll. Well, you probably you don't need me to combine with you. You have many. You have too many. Never mind.
Yeah, these are all moderns too.
Yeah.
So.
You ever at a comic shop and like you have a stack of books and you just spent half an hour picking over all the ones in the rack or up on the shelves and you pick the best looking one and you bring it to the guy at the counter and he just grabs them on the spine and squeezes them like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yep.
You're like, never mind. Wow, this is. What if this comes back at 9.9?
I mean, I might 9.9 pre-screen it. Like I mean,
just because it looks 9.8. And then you should get a bump for the whiteness of the pages. They're so white, it looks like you just got it right off the printing press. It never even got put in a box and shipped to a comic shop. It just was, here you go.
Yeah.
And it was like the first one off the print. So it has it's no imperfections at all. There's no ink residue that's coming onto another part of the book. Oh, yeah, that's nice, man.
All right, Batman Adventures 12. This is a 9.496. Couple spine ticks, but honestly, nothing crazy.
It's hard to handle books that are this clean because like even the slightest finger indent could impact the grade. If you got a mid-grade book, it's not nearly as much of an issue. But when they're in the 9.6 range, you're like, maybe I don't want to touch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold it with 2 hands now. This is one of those books that looks even better in person.
Yeah,
it's such a great cover. I love all the Batman Adventures. The covers on and all the adventures, the animated ones are really fun.
Yeah. This is another 9/8 candidate. This is DC Comics Presents 27. This is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans.
Yep. I don't know why anybody doesn't like this cover. I've heard people say they don't like the cover. I love it, but I'm also a huge fan of the color orange.
Yeah.
And I also think color orange and color green really pop next to each other. So I think I've always thought this was a great cover. Jim Starlin cover, as a matter of fact.
So I sent you a picture of this the other night, and basically I was a bunch of Punisher books in this collection, and I'm like, Punisher, it's all like late 80s into 90s stuff. Like there's nothing valuable in there. So I've literally left it. They're like inside Amazon boxes, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna look at it until like the very, very end. And then I got home one night and I was like looking at Hot 10 books.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this cover and I was like, oh, I forgot that was in the 90s, like part of that run. I was like, I wonder if I have it. So I ended up forgetting my glasses and something at my office. So I had to go back. So I was like, let me just check the Punisher box. I mean, I probably go 1, 2, and it's like right there. And this is just such an iconic, like,
wow.
This is the bullseye I want to see in the show.
Yeah.
Like this dude looks insane.
Yeah, you texted me that picture. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's high grade. It's got a little bit of like discoloration on the top, but like everything else about the book is really clean. So I sold a couple books already.
Did you really?
Yeah, I just shipped them out today. I sold X-Men 133, which is the first solo Wolverine story.
Oh, yeah.
And then X-Men 142, which is the green cover with the Sentinel.
Yeah.
So
beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Wow, this is an unbelievable cover.
Yeah, that cover is fantastic.
I mean, is this book valuable because of the cover? It's like
a $50 book.
Yeah, it's one of the most. That's sick cover.
Yeah, so I have some other, like, I have a couple Hulk 340s, Iron Man 128, like a couple first Black Cats, but I won't bother showing you guys.
Wow.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll give you guys, this is, I bought this at a claim sale. This is not from the collection. I bought this from a claim sale for $100. Okay.
Okay. Wait, what?
For $100.
What? What condition is it in?
He says 5.0.
$100?
Yeah, probably maybe even a 5.5 after a cleaner press 6.
I mean, I know the price on that book is down, but come on now. First Iron Fist.
That's not my third copy. So we've talked about this book being incredibly undervalued.
Is that got a clear backing on it too? Clear backing board? I love the clear backing board, especially for Golden Age books. So you can see like the weird Daisy rifle ads and stuff. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, that's my third copy. I did get another copy in the collection. That it's the one in the collection is higher grade than that, not crazy high grade, but a nice copy. And I bought one from Rohan back in the Game Comics. So we've talked about how we think that this book is crazy undervalued.
It truly is.
And so I put my money where my mouth is. And I got 3 copies now.
Yeah,
all raw.
It's true. I've got a 9.0 copy, and I'm thinking about getting maybe even upgrading. But the problem is, when I say problem, but the thing is, I also don't have the first Shang-Chi, and I feel like that also is undervalued. I like to get my hands on both.
See if I have anything. I have a lot of PC stuff in here. No, nothing. It's all like new comic. Oh, I just bought this from my friend. X-Men 7.
Wait, what friend?
I totally forgot about this. My buddy that lives in Texas.
Okay.
That like we used to go to comic shops when we were in high school together.
Yeah.
He bought his first collection, so to say, all Silver Age stuff, and that was in it. And he sold it to me. I paid him fairly because I told him it was for my PC, so I wouldn't.
Wow,
I wouldn't pay him like what I would pay him for, like what I do to buy collections. So
top 10 X-Men book. There's such great covers. I mean, I would extend it all the way out to 12 because isn't 12 first Juggernaut?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Man, that's really great. Oh yes, and I know you like Scarlet Witch, and there she is.
Yeah. Look at this. I got so many copies, man.
What are you gonna do?
This.
How many do you have now?
Okay, so I got 2 copies of this. Hold that.
Okay.
Okay. I got 2 copies of this. Okay, 1 Newsy, 1 Direct. Okay, hold that.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, dang it. Okay, and I have 2. Well, I technically own 4 copies right now, but 1 is under the press at the moment. But this is the error print version with the yellow.
Oh,
strip.
yeah.
But yeah.
Are you going to sell that or are you going to keep that?
I don't know. I got to get them all graded. So I have a 9.4 newsstand, which is the copy that I've always had in my personal collection. I bought a 9.6 Direct a month or 2 ago. And I have 2 raw copies, that one and the one that's under the press. So
what are you going to do? How many of these are you going to, when you send your modern set to CGC, how many do you think it's going to be?
I think it's tough because it's going to be split. So like the X-Men 130, like this one, the 141, and then this one, and then a couple others will have to go in the high value.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be split, but I think it's about 15 books.
Only 15? I'd be thinking you'd send 50.
No, I wish. Yeah.
Well, send 15, sell them, then send another 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to repress. I pressed it once, but it's got a ton of finger bends on it. And then I haven't pressed this one. This one's from the collection. This is probably about a 9.2, I think. And then I have my 8.5 copy that's graded. So I'll probably keep the newsstand and then sell the 8.5 in this one. But one of these I'll keep raw and sell raw. But then this one I'm going to get graded because it should be in the 9s. But yeah, I have a lot of crazy books right now. A lot of crazy modern books. I've kind of sold all my crazy Silver Age books in my last couple claim sales. I do have a few. Like I still have like a First Scorpion and a handful of other like really cool, but a lot of that stuff is raw. So yeah,
man, that's a really fun. That was just an excellent purchase, and everybody came out happy. The people that you bought it from were happy, and now that you've gone through the whole thing, would you say you're happy with what you bought?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not happy on the days where I'm like looking at
Superman 2 long boxes,
Batman Shadow of the Bat, and Batman Legends of the Dark
Azrael.
Knight. Yeah, I'm like I'm not kidding. Like when I look at that stuff, I'm like I waste my money. Like this is
you're like I need some therapy.
Yeah, no, and I literally have to like go over and like look at like this short box that's all Daredevil Silver Age, all Captain America Silver Age.
The whole FF run basically from the 60s on. Yeah.
I haven't touched that book since you've been.
You had that whole box?
Yeah, I haven't touched it.
Oh man, you're gonna have fun because
I did the Amazing Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man stuff the other day. That was fun. And there's so many. Yeah.
So before we sign off, we at least have to acknowledge that Steph Curry scored 56 points last night.
I thought it was 60.
I thought it was 56.
I don't know. I mean, you're the Warriors fan.
Yeah, let me look. But anyway, for a 36-year-old, that's got to be some kind of record, right?
Yeah, probably 15.
So
15 threes.
12 threes.
12 threes. Okay, I'm seeing different stats than.
Okay, maybe I looked at it before the game was over or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me take a quick look. But anyway,
I saw that he went 15 for 19, I think.
If that's true, then he set a record because 14 is a record held by Mr. Clay. Let's take a look. But anyway, I just wanted to recognize it because you got to recognize it.
Oh, and I forgot about this book. I found this book just the other day, like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's a great book.
I pulled this one out. I was sorting through all the Batmans, and like I said, I thought I had found everything, and I guess I didn't. So I found this one. I'm gonna press this one. This is pretty high grade. First Bane. Yeah, great book. Oh no, there's a little.
So he was
a terror feather.
His 16 for 25 field goal, 12 for 19 3-point range. So 56 points.
Wow.
But going 12 for 19 from 3-point range with these on the run, curling around threes is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So a lot of times he could have put up big numbers or broken the 3-point record, but when he's on a tear like that, usually he doesn't even play in the fourth quarter because we're blowing him out. But
yeah,
that he needed to do that because we were losing and we won. We only won by 6.
Wow.
So, yeah,
I've had those fair share games where Kobe drops like 65 and we're barely winning.
well, like the Toronto one where he
Yeah.
Scored 72. He scored 72 because they needed him to score 72 because you guys were. It was a close game. If it wasn't, he probably wouldn't have scored 72.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wasn't it 72? Wasn't that the
81?
number? I'm sorry. 72 was David Robinson against the Clippers when he was when it was going against who was going to get the scoring title last game of the season.
Yeah.
And whether it was Shaquille O'Neal in Orlando or David Robinson in San Antonio and or was it Tim Duncan? I think it was Robinson, but whoever it was Robinson. And he went for 72 points against the Clippers. And this is when Dominique Wilkins was on the Clippers at the end of his career. And he was so angry at the end of the game. He wasn't angry at force feeding David Robinson so he won the scoring title. He was angry because no one on his team decked him. Like, you know, because he's old school. He's like, this guy, like we all knew what he was doing. Like he was just padding his stats. It was a blowout. And he's pouring it on. Like this organization has no pride. Like, and everybody knew it was true because back when the Clippers were just trash, you know, and
back when.
Oh, I knew you were going to do something like that. But anyway, but when Kobe scored his 81 against, I remember Matt Barnes talks about it because Matt Barnes was on Toronto in that game when they played, and he has to wear that for the rest of his career. Like he was guarding, he was known for his defense. He's guarding Kobe, and Kobe got 81 on him. But that's because they needed it. Or the last game of his career when he scored 60 or whatever it was, they needed it. He wasn't just there stat padding. It was in a tight game. Anyway, sorry. I just, you know, you should know how much sports talk we cut from these podcasts because we talk about sports a lot. But God, I can't leave without acknowledging 56 points from the chef.
Respect.
Yeah, respect on that.
My Luka jersey came in yesterday. I was wearing it.
Hey man, congrats on that trade. That was such a lopsided trade.
He's been broke since he joined, but he just needs to settle in.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
He was like 0 from 6 from 3 last night, and then with like 2 seconds left, being hardcore press on almost push out of bounds, he just like chucks up this 3 and just splashes it. Camera cuts to his dad, and I was just like, what? Like he was 0 for 6.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he even said after after the game, Luka's like, dude, I couldn't make a 3, and I make that. He's like, I don't know.
Well, he's 25, and you have him for the next 15 years of his prime. So have fun, enjoy it.
He's younger than Austin Reeves. I didn't even register that until somebody texted me that.
This is why the league hates the Lakers right here. That right there.
All right, thanks so much for watching the Comic Group Pod and we'll come up with a sports
somehow
segment
sports
name.
is leaks in here.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Links to everything in the description. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Take it easy.
Peace.